Good day, everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar, Do's and Don'ts for Digital in China. I'm your moderator, Jackie Sass from Merkle's marketing team. And now I'll hand things over to presenters to get things started.
Thanks, Jackie. Hi, everyone. This is Dalton Dornay. I'm our SVP of Marketing here at Merkle. I'm going to introduce Alex Turowski. Alex is our Director of Search here at Merkle. Hermes has been in digital marketing for over 15 years. I'm going to hand this over now to Hermes to walk us through the first part of the presentation, which is on the China digital landscape.
Thank you, Dalton. So one of our assessors once said that across the ocean there are fortunes. I think it's likewise for Westerners. By crossing the ocean, you have massive opportunities in China. When talking about China, lots of people ask me about how do you think about China? What's the key things about China's digital? And usually I will answer like this. China is enormous, unique, and mature. So the first thing is it's huge. Lots of data we are handling in the reporting are by millions. So I stopped by being impressed these days. After 10 years, 1 million to me is like a small number, but we think that you should still be impressed because the opportunity is massive here. Just by taking an example, let's just take a look at last year's Singles Day. Just in one day, the transaction volume on Alibaba's platform is about $18 billion. That's in 24 hours. And 82% of that was from mobile. So I can demonstrate and say that in China, e-commerce is really about m-commerce. Then let's take a look at the cross-border e-commerce. So 37% of consumers, they purchase from international brands. And it's from 235 countries and regions. Among them, we have the top countries they bought the goods from. The number one is Japan, and closely, United States is following. Overall, we see the cross-border retail e-commerce is ramping up quickly by over 50% year-on-year growth rate. So I can say it's not only huge, but also growing very, very fast. But even if you are a seasoned digital marketer, you may get confused or find it very, very difficult to get into China because those services, those media platforms you're familiar with, you're dealing with every day, they are not working. They no longer work in China. So Google is not here in terms of search. Facebook, they don't have a presence here. Twitter, we don't use that. And even it's pre-installed in our mobile phone, we uninstall that. And others like Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest, and other like Bitly, I usually have trouble to click on a Bitly link to find out what the content is. So remember, those services and platforms are no longer active here in China. Another example is about Google Play. Since Google gets censored, lots of Android phones is having trouble because they cannot access to the Google Play Store. Instead, we have over 300 app stores for Android apps. Lots of them are based on rooted or cracked mobile devices. That can cause lots of issues, but also generates lots of opportunities. But for marketers, it's a problem for us to manage our publishment of the apps on the Android devices. For China, the landscape is not about Google, Facebook, Amazon. It's really about the three giant companies. Those internet companies are like 1800 years ago when China is ruled by the three kingdoms. They are Baidu, Alibaba, and Tencent. Baidu is dominating the search area, and Alibaba is very, very strong in e-commerce. Tencent is the king in the social area. And aside of those three corporates, we also have other media platforms like Sina Weibo, like Jingdong, like Sogo, Toutiao, and 360 Search. Those will be mentioned in later of this presentation. So here we have two maps of world. I want you to take a look and identify which one is the correct version. I bet you only see the left one on your textbook, but I'm telling you that in China, most of the time you'll see the right version, which is printed on any textbook or the map we are using, we posted on the wall. So the right one is actually correct because we have the China in the center of the map of world. So for China, for China's audience, they see a world differently. The other example is about this happy man. He's in the trading office of the stock market. You can see at the background, our stock looks pretty red. But why he is so happy? Because in China, the note of your cash is in red. So red actually means money in China. Instead, in the West, the green means money, and it means fortune because your notes are in green. So I would say when you are adapting your China strategy, when you are doing your localization, one does not simply translate the website and call it localized. There are many, many other aspects you got to take into account. And you need to differentiate the nuance when you're adopting the China strategy. We talk about e-commerce. In China, it's m-commerce because people, meaning consumers, are doing actively on mobile devices. They pay on the mobile devices. They browse on the mobile devices. And the m-commerce strategy and the technology is really based on QR code. In this report, we can see that 9 out of 10 QR code users are in China. It's massive. It's everywhere. You can't just stop scanning the QR code in China. For me, myself, I don't take my wallet out every day. Usually, I will only take my cell phone, and I can scan to pay anything, even if it's in a lemonade store. I can pay by my WeChat or Alipay account. When we see the research, and it says that payment method used for in-store purchase, according to the internet user, in the latest research on eMarketer, we can see that 73% of users, they pay through a mobile payment app in store. That's almost about the same that we see from cash payment. And why they are doing that? Because they feel it's very, very convenient, and they feel it's very, very secure. And the credit card adoption in China has been always low. They found it's more convenient to take the mobile phone and scan the QR code everywhere. In China, QR code scan has 2 adapters, and they are all mobile payment dominator.